Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central this evening. If you hear the sound of my voice, it's time for you to make a choice of whether you're going to play or pray. Whether you're going to play or actually stay with us here at the Tubular Black Facts channel. We need your support in more than one way. Start off with something easy for you. Give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're seeing us on YouTube, you'll be able to see the whole picture, the big picture. Because this month we're starting something new. We're going to be reading a story from a graphic novel. The novel is called March. We're starting off with book 1. It's a 3-volume set. We don't know how many of these books we'll be reading from. Maybe one, maybe more than one. It just depends on how long it takes us to go through them all. And we're going to be doing the same thing with our noontime set. So this is very intensive work. It might seem easy because we make it seem so easy because we're so smooth and my voice is so mellifluous, but trust and believe, this takes a lot more work than what it looks like. It is not easy, okay? It ain't easy getting breezy. It's easy being cheesy, which I'm trying not to do. So go ahead, give us a like, a thumbs up on Facebook, tell your friends and your family, make sure to invite them as well. And while you're at it, go ahead and make a recurring donation via the link you see below. That's where you can sign up for the Tubular Black Facts channel to subscribe. And you can also go down there and make a donation as well. And you can do it where it automatically comes out of your account. $5 a month, you'll never even know it's gone. Okay? And in the meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and get it on. We're going to read our proverb for tonight, and we're going to tell you another story about the glory of the civil rights era and one of the civil rights era icons known as John Lewis. You know, I've seen him in person before, but I never really did get a chance to meet the man himself, which I somewhat regret. But reading the story he has here in the book is the next best thing. So if you got children at home, make sure to turn them on to some real history, because you know they're not going to get any in school. Matter of fact, they're talking about dumbing down the history some more. That's right. Black history right now is under threat. Our history is under threat. Now, we haven't been getting any of anybody else's history, but our history in particular is under threat. So if you would like us to continue to wage the battle for Black history, to continue to be told and reveled in, go ahead and send us a donation. Meanwhile, the proverb for tonight is, though the palm tree in the jungle is big, who knows how big its yield will be? Though the palm tree in the jungle is big, who knows how big its yield will be? And that is a proverb from the nation of Liberia, where they ain't never lied, even though the name is Liberia. That stands for liberty, justice, and equality. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and we're going to do a little transition here. We're going to transition right on into the story for the evening, which we have started a couple days ago. This is our third part 3 of the story of March, and it is the story called March, and it's about the how John Lewis got involved in the civil rights struggle. So we're going to read from the book while you all go ahead and view it online if you're on YouTube, and if not, then you just have to listen to the sound of our mellifluous voice, but you're not going to be able to see all the graphics. And actually, we're going to flip the script here. We've got to flip one more page here. Let's see if I can get back to it. Get black to it. I'm going to get black to it. Black to the Future. There we go. And John, he was known to preach. At the time, he wanted to be a preacher. And he was living on a farm down in Pike County, Alabama. And he wanted to, with this desire to want to preach, he would go out with the chickens every day. When he was out in the farmyard, in the barnyard with the chickens, he would preach to the chickens. And he was just hoping for that one day they would say amen. But they never did say amen. Although he did just have a near-death experience with the chicken, where he was baptized in the chicken and left it under too long, and he thought he had drowned it, and then he prayed for the chicken to recover, and the chick recovered. And so that's where we're at in the story right now. All these aspects of my chicken play tickled my parents at first, but their amusement vanished as I began seriously protesting their own treatment of the birds. Yeah, From time to time, they would have no cash to pay the rolling store man for some sorely needed sugar or flour. So they would offer a bird in barter instead. They'd pay the man in chickens. Now, you know this is back in the day. You try to pay somebody with a chicken today, see how far you get. One of my chickens, and you see him standing there in the picture with his parents looking down at him and looking at the man wondering, is this going to do or not? And John Lewis is standing there with his arms crossed and a scowl on his face. Scowl on his face. Come on now. Flip the script. There we go. I'd cry, refuse to speak to them for the rest of the day. I'd even skip eating. I wouldn't eat my dinner. Worse, though, was watching my mother or father kill one of the chickens for a special Sunday dinner. You know I hated to see the preacher come, because you know they love them some pork chops and some chicken. They would either break its neck with their hands, spinning it around until the bone snapped, or simply chop its head off. Well, I forgot to give y'all the warning about that before I started this story. They would then drain the blood from its body and dip it in boiling water, scalding it to loosen its feathers for plucking. It was nowhere to be seen at those family meals. So you stopped raising chickens because it was too hard to see them be killed? No, the death of those chickens was just a part of life. But eventually, I began spending more time doing schoolwork, studying, and my eyes began opening to the world around me. Why did you need to study more? Did you fail your test? Jacob, shh. What? I did okay. I wasn't the best. But school was important to me, and it was ultimately the reason I got involved in the civil rights movement. The thing is, when I was young, wait a minute. There we go. The thing is, when I was young, there wasn't much of a civil rights movement. I wanted to work at something. But growing up in rural Alabama, Pike County, Alabama, my parents knew it would be dangerous to make any waves. Don't make no waves, because you might get washed out. Don't get in white people's, they would tell him to stay out of trouble and don't get in white people's way. But other members of my family helped open my eyes. In the summer of 1951, I took my first trip north. Otis Carter, one of my mother's brothers, arranged the journey. He planned it completely for my sake. He lived in Dothan, about 60 miles south of us, where he was a teacher and a school principal. Uncle Otis had always taken a special interest in me, especially as I began to grow and stand out a little bit. Not just with my devotion to schoolwork, but with the way I generally acted. I was so serious, very earnest, still sermonizing with my chickens, still protesting when that white meat went on the table. I wore a tie often, and some of the grown-ups teased me about that, telling me I dressed just like a preacher. I know now that Uncle Otis saw something in me that I hadn't yet seen. That is why we took our trip in June of 1951. Now, where did they go? Let me turn the page and we'll find out. There would be no restaurants for us to stop at until we were well out of the South. So we carried our restaurant right in the car with us. Stopping for gas and bathroom breaks took careful planning. Uncle Otis had made this trip before, and he knew which places along the way offered colored bathrooms. And you know what color they were colored? They were colored black. Wasn't no other colored folks at that time. I want y'all to remember that. People of color, that meant black. They just recently changed how they're using that word, but that word has always meant black folks. It didn't mean no other color other than black. And which were safer to pass on by. So they go. They're on the trip. They're being careful. They're only stopping where they feel like they can take care of their business without a problem. And there they go, up the highway, on that long, lonesome road with those bugs splattering on the windshield, stopping at the gas station to scrape them off. Oh yeah, you had to do that back in the day. You hardly see bugs on your windshield anymore, but that used to be a regular thing with us. Alabama, Tennessee, then it went on into Kentucky. These were the states we had to be careful in as we made our way north, because they ain't cotton to no impertinent niggers, not at all. Let's see where they end up at. Black drivers we passed going the other direction from north to south faced an added danger. Their license plates made them visible targets. What are them Yankee niggers doing with a car like that? Sometimes they had to face even worse. It wasn't until we got into the great state of Ohio that I could feel Uncle Otis relax. You see the beads of sweat coming down Uncle Otis's face. He's so nervous about going through them border states, particularly states like Kentucky. They were known for being vicious down in them border states. Yeah, you could easily end up in a river. You and your car end up in a river. You are now entering Ohio, the Buckeye State. Welcome something. Can't read the last word. And so he relaxed too. Once he saw his uncle relax, then he relaxed. And then all was good, at least for a minute. You know what? Let me, I think maybe we should stop right about there as they're coming into Ohio. I think that's a good place to stop at. Okay? And we'll pick up again when they enter the state of Ohio. Yep, when they get into the state of Ohio. So we'll pick it up from there tomorrow night. I hope you're sticking with us. And enjoying the way we're reading this. This is, like I said, I told you, this is a first for us. We never done anything quite like this before. And it's taken us a while to get here. We thought we'd be doing things like this back in January, but there really was a learning curve for our new software, and we're just now getting things together. So stick with us, enjoy yourselves, and of course, if you haven't already, go ahead and give us a like If you're watching on Facebook, if you're on YouTube already, give us a thumbs up, and then go ahead and subscribe to the Black Facts, the Tubular Black Facts channel. Very important that you subscribe. And then if you could just take one more step, it's an easy one compared to what we're reading about in this book. This is an easy step. And just go ahead and make that recurring donation. You do it with the link right below. You see it down there. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend like you didn't see it. I know y'all saw it. Hit that link and go ahead and make the donation. And if you don't see it on YouTube, you might have to go to Facebook. Or if you don't see it on YouTube or Facebook, you know what? Let me go ahead and I'll put up a little banner that'll have the link in there, because I can do that as well. I haven't been doing that because I've been real focused on just trying to make sure I hit all these buttons, and so that you actually can hear the sound of my voice and be able to see the images. So let me see if I can do that tonight, and I'll share it with you all out there that were on Facebook and didn't make it over, and everybody will be able to see how they can make a donation to us. But in the meanwhile, peace, love, and justice for all in America. How about that?